Hey hippies, it's Courtney Shavante here, and I wanted to come through and give you guys a quick little video giving you 9 tips on how to monetize your crafting YouTube channel. If this is something that you're interested in, you're trying to go ahead and get that growth started, you're trying to go ahead and start seeing some results, and you want to see consistent results, you definitely want to continue on with this video and make sure you watch it in its entirety, because I'm going to give you 9 different tips on how to consistently see growth within your YouTube crafting channel and make sure you can get to that monetization status and everything. Now, before we get started, make sure you do hit that subscribe button for me and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything that I do put out for you moving forward and everything. And I want to go ahead and get started and move right on along. All right, let's go. All right, so 1, you want to have a clear video and really good lighting. You want to make sure that you're using a video that's able to actually pick up with what you're seeing. You want to make sure that the video quality is good enough to where you can actually see what's happening in the little steps that you're doing, especially if you're doing a craft that's going to be more detailed. You want to also make sure that it's, good lighting and everything. You can always use the flash on your camera. If you have an iPhone, that's great. That's actually what I do a lot of my recording on and everything. That's what I do all my recording on at this point. I did have a GoPro. I still have it, and I do not really use it to do any recording or anything, just because the iPhone continuity is so much easier and everything. I airdrop everything right to my MacBook, and it just makes things a whole lot more simple. So iPhone is definitely, a good form of video, and it's also going to provide that good lighting for you. Make sure that, there's a lot of windows in the room if you don't have any lighting, or you're trying to save on some money regarding the lighting. If you do have a little bit of money to spend, you can get a ring light. A ring light is absolutely amazing and is very versatile as well. So you can not only use it for crafting, you can use it for other recording purposes and other photography purposes as well, like product photos and just so many other things that may go along with your crafting business outside of YouTube. 2, speak clearly and over explain. You want to make sure that you're speaking very clearly, because 1, it makes it easier for the automated captions to be able to capture exactly what it is that you are saying, so that way anyone who is hard of hearing, or maybe they just don't like listening to the audio, that way you're able to pick up what you're saying more clearly, and you don't have to worry about going in there and editing or doing any captions on your own the more clearly that you speak. And I also say to over explain what you're saying. You want to talk in every single video as if it is the very first video that someone is watching of yours. And you want to do that because a lot of the times it is going to be the very first video that someone is watching of yours. So although you may have done it 20 million times on your channel before, you always want to explain what you're doing, or at least reference a video within your catalog where you have done said action that you're trying to bypass and whatnot. Make sure that you spoon feed people all the information and act as if no one has ever told them. Just because it's common information for you does not mean it's something that's so simple or common information to anyone else. So don't think that you're dumbing it down too much or anything like that. There's always going to be someone out there that needs a little bit more explaining or a little bit more guidance regarding what you're doing. My 3rd tip for monetizing your YouTube channel is going to be making sure that your intro is very clear and is very relevant to what's going on within your video. You want to make sure that whoever is coming to watch your video, within those first 30 seconds, you've made it very clear what your purpose is for this video. So let's say you are going to be teaching someone how to crochet a halter top. You want to make it very clear that 1, you're going to be crocheting a halter top, why they should be watching you to, learn how to crochet a halter top, and 3, what makes this crocheted halter top tutorial special from the other ones that they may have seen out here. Just make sure that your intros and everything, they're very clear on what you want people to be learning and what they're going to be picking up on from the remainder of the video. My 4th suggestion would be to use subtitles. Use subtitles and title screens, but do not use title chapters. people who are watching and who are catching the subtitles, they're paying attention. They want the information. They're already there for the information. From what I noticed with the chapters, it gives a lot of people the ability to skip around within your video, not taking the content fully. And that can become a problem because, especially when you're doing something where you're teaching people how to do something, they can miss steps, and then it creates a lot of questions and everything that may already be answered within the video as well. So to save yourself the headache and to save your audience the headache, I would say just to go ahead and cut out the chapters. You know, we like that instant gratification and everything, but sometimes it's best for people to actually sit through what you're saying so they can really and truly grasp the lesson in its entirety, instead of like getting bits and pieces and then trying to question you to try to put those bits and pieces together. My fifth tip is to use background music. So when you're doing tutorials or you're showing people how to make things and stuff like that, you may not always necessarily have something to say in every single moment. Sometimes some of the actions that you're doing may be repetitive, but you still may want to show it on screen so that way people can understand the repetitiveness of it. You know, some people like more drawn out tutorials, some people like more short and concise. So it's completely up to you which type of videos that you do like to do to be more in depth and everything. A lot of the times it does create some dead space because you may not always have something to say that is relevant. In those times, you are definitely going to want some background music. You never want to completely leave the video, you know, without anything going on. You always want to make sure there's something going on audibly within the video, so that way your viewer stays engaged. Really push through with audio and with the visuals, so both are equally as important. I suggest using lo-fi music just because with the lo-fi, I noticed that it's not too distracting. People tend to like it all across the spectrum. It wasn't something that I used in my first few videos, but it's definitely something that I use now, and I think it's made a better environment for my tutorials and everything. So just don't let it go over your voice and be too loud to where they can't understand the instructions that you're giving them within your tutorials. My sixth tip is to be helpful. You want to make sure that you are responding to the frequently asked questions. You want to make sure, you know, that you're over explaining, like I said in the second tip and everything. You just want to make sure that you make it very clear to your community that you're there and you're willing to help. When you do that, it also creates like-minded individuals too. So you'll start seeing over time where other people within the community start answering questions for one another. They'll, you know, make it a lot easier for you, because as your channel grows, you're going to start receiving more and more comments. Build a community where people feel like they can help each other and talk to one another, so that way they do, and it makes it easier for your channel to thrive. You want to make your page as self-sufficient, your channel as self-sufficient as possible in order to really grow and maximize. Now, my seventh tip would be to make sure you have a catchy thumbnail. Your thumbnail doesn't need to be trendy per se, but it does need to be catchy, and it needs to kind of hint towards what's actually going on within the video and everything. That really helps the people who are more visual. It helps if you can like kind of put something in there that's pointing towards what's going on, because it kind of helps create the recipe for someone clicking that video and watching it through and deciding that your video is going to be the one that addresses their concerns. So what you can do is also make sure that you're putting something catchy within your thumbnail. So when you're using your actual title for the video, you want to make sure it's SEO friendly, search engine optimization friendly. So you want to make sure there's a lot of keywords in there that the algorithm will pick up. However, when it comes to your thumbnails, you want to really make sure that your thumbnails have something catchy on there that kind of talks to the viewer in particular, not to the algorithm or to the search engine. You want to talk to the individual. Now, if you're doing tutorials, you're an educational channel. You're teaching people how to do things. So you don't want it to be so playful to the point where it distracts from the point where it's still a lesson as well. You still want it to have that learning aspect to it. So just keep that in mind when you are creating your thumbnails. So my 8th tip to monetize your YouTube channel would be to utilize shorts. Shorts weren't quite as popular as they are now when I first started, but they definitely have so much potential. YouTube is pushing them right now because people love their short form content, and YouTube is really starting to recognize that and acknowledge it a bit more. So you want to upload, I'd say probably at least one a week, and you can have like a lot of fun within these shorts. Since they're short form content, it's meant to be on an entertaining level, it's meant to be quick, simple, to the point, and it's meant to have like, you know, a lot more room for fun as well. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's something that's going to be catching people's attention, so that way it kind of pulls them in and makes them want to check out your real channel. I feel like it's a cute little, it's like an appetizer to your channel. So I think you should think of YouTube shorts as like appetizers for your real videos, and it just gives people a taste of what you got going on. My ninth and probably the most helpful and most important tip of them all: you ask for feedback and you also implement the feedback that you receive. Getting feedback can come in so many different forms. When you have a YouTube channel, like, you can just simply ask, like, hey, do you guys have any questions regarding this video? You can ask that at the end of your videos. I ask at the end of every single tutorial. I ask them to leave me any questions, comments, or concerns that they do have down for me below into the comments, and I'll get back with them, like, you know, as soon as I can, making sure that I address them all. I make sure I put it into the captions of all my videos too, so that way anyone who's a reader and who's going through and reading like the captions and the descriptions on all my videos, they also know that this is a safe place to, you know, come and ask further questions. If you need more help, you know, I'm here to help and I'm willing to help. You know, let's go ahead and make that happen. You're doing things like polls within your community tab, do polls within your Instagram account on your stories, and from there you can actually ask people what it is that they would like to see. So let's say you have a cooking channel and someone says, I want you to go make soap. It's like, girl, it's like, why are you over here asking me to make soap? But if you go on there and say, like, hey, out of these 4 things, it's like, which thing would you guys prefer to see next? You kind of set the tone of what you would like to do moving forward on your channel. And then from there, it allows them to, like, you know, kind of give you some input regarding, like, you know, the specifics of exactly, like, you know, where you should land with that video and where you do need to do these next drops and everything, and the information is that they need. Okay, let's go ahead and sprinkle in a bonus tip and everything. My bonus tip would be to make sure that you go live. I don't have just a whole lot of information on going live because it's something that I recently started doing. But once you do break through, it's a great tool to use, just because, one, it gets you comfortable on camera real fast. Like, going live is just a completely different vibe because there's no editing. You know, everything is happening real time, so you have the opportunity to interact with people as well. I think it also helps build a stronger sense of community, and you can, like, you know, give them the chance to, like, really see you and see your personality and stuff without it being just so scripted and stuff. So my bonus tip would be definitely to go live a little bit more. But as I start doing a little bit more with my lives and everything, I'll probably do another video telling you guys a little bit more about what I do when I do go live and how I use that and, like, what I like about it and all that good stuff. All right, hippies, so that was basically my 9 tips plus a bonus on how to monetize your YouTube channel and the best things that you can do to see that consistent growth and make sure you get that YouTube channel up and popping and really see some momentum. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feedback, make sure you leave them down for me below. Feedback is a gift. That's how you know how to keep going and how to move forward. All right, so until next time, hippies, mwah. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.